All right, so we are back for basically like part 3 of this build. We're basically putting on the Spurzl locking tuners, and then we are going to wire up the body, and hopefully everything put together should work. I've never wired a guitar body from scratch. I found the schematic from Seymour Duncan on their website, so it seems pretty self-explanatory. When we get to that portion, I'll go ahead and kind of walk you through what I'm going to do. It seems like it should be correct, and then fast forward to that after we get done putting everything together. If it's not, I'll come back and let you know what I had to change. Spurzl tuners, so I ordered these. This is like what I'm assuming is probably different sizes, because these ones look smaller than these ones, so I'm assuming these ones probably go in towards the nut, which is the longer for the E and A strings. Now, Spurzl gives you all of the tuners on this. There's a little guide. Basically pop this off. There's 2 little holes, and you probably can't see this, so I don't know if you can really see that, but there's the main hole where the stud goes through, and then there's this. So basically you have to line these up. So the furthest one is where this post goes in. Now, I have a set of Spurzl tuners on my other Strat. So I love them. That's why I ordered Spurzls for this one. But one of them kind of got a little wonky. So we're going to try and make this as accurate as possible. You basically kind of have to line this up with the top of the headstock to make it sit as flat as possible. And then basically what you do is you take a little punch. Well, I've seen people use like a push pin, and they push pin that into place and then drill the hole. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to draw all these holes for the tuners. Hopefully I'm in focus. And then the neck should be finished. And then, like I said, we're going to go ahead and throw the body up here and weld the pretty much everything into the body. And I'll go ahead and show you guys that. So I got a little push pin. No, it's not really in focus, but obviously you can tell. I tried to find a wood drill bit. This one that I have is 5/64. It's actually, I think, still too big for the actual pin. But if you have a smaller one than 5/64 inch, I would probably go with that. I'm going to attempt this. Hopefully it doesn't get it all wonky. I looked for a smaller one, but I couldn't find it. Anyways, so basically using the template, I'm going to use this to push it in and then drill my post, and we'll go from there. All right, so I got the tuners in. You can't really see it that much, but this first bottom E string, when I put the tuner in, I was pretty sure I drilled the hole correctly. I followed the template, and it kind of got off-centered. I'm not 100% worried about it that much. Actually happened on my other Stratocaster, same way. So it is what it is. I will say this much: if you're gonna put these in yourself, just double check your work before you start drilling and stuff. I thought I had it correct, and when I drilled the hole and put it in, it's that cockeyed. Like I said, I'm not 100% worried about it. It kind of sucks. I really wish that these came pre-drilled from Warmoth, because they ask you what you're gonna put in there. So they drilled the barrel size for Spurzl, Fender, and Schraler, I think it is. But they don't actually put in any of the mounting holes. One thing that I wish that Spurzl would do, rather than making those little like imprinted pegs that go into these, is just putting like some Phillips head screws or something in them. But anyways, they're in. They look pretty good. I had one of the barrels start to strip on me, so I really had to like be careful with that one. It's the bottom E string, so I don't think there's going to be a lot of pressure on it. I don't think it'll come out, but it just kind of sucks. So it is what it is. I don't know if you can order just like single tuners if that ever happens, but anyways, all right. So now we're going to go grab the body and we're going to start soldering it up. All right, so I have this all apart. I'm going to show you real quick. So I don't know if you can really see it that much. There's a piece of wire that runs through the body right here, right? So that goes to the control bridge, the control cavity. This, you basically just kind of want to leave to the point where the end of the wire is exposed underneath. I have a piece of little copper foil tape that I'm going to put over this, and then the bridge goes back on. So at that point, the bridge will be grounded, and then you're pretty much golden from that point. So once the bridge is grounded, you can go ahead and put the bridge back on. You don't have to worry about that. I didn't do this before I put the bridge on, mostly because I wanted to test fit the pick guard. I already have the pick guard loaded up. All I have to do is solder everything together. So I haven't, like I said, I haven't soldered a guitar from scratch before. Normally everything comes from it, but Seymour Duncan has a single humbucker, single volume pot wiring diagram on their website, so we're going to go by that. This wire that runs underneath the bridge basically gets soldered to the back of the volume pot, and then we have to solder up the input jack, and we're going to have to cut the wire from the bridge pickup to shorten it so there's not a whole bunch of wire in the control cavity, and then put everything back together, put some strings on it, and hope that it works. That's the problem. Because, technically if I had an amp and stuff out here, I could probably try it, but it is what it is. So let's go ahead and do that. All right, so I'm going to throw the schematic onto the screen, but basically I have, as far as I can tell, I have this wired correctly from what the schematic says. Now, the issue is I'm going to have to put it all together and go from there, because without really soldering it, putting it together, trying it out on an amp, I couldn't tell you if this is working or not. A lot of guitar builders and luthiers will have like a little amp or something with them, but since I had to basically take this apart and do it from scratch, I have to put everything together, test it out, and see if it works. I'm going to unplug this soldering iron because it keeps falling. Anyways, so we're at that point now where the only thing really left for me to do is put this all together, put the neck on, string it up, hook it to an amp, and go from there. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Let me show you guys real quick. I'm going to turn this around. All right, so I have this white wire and a black wire. So this is from the bridge. This wire and this wire. So this one and this one are from the input jack. The red and white wire from the pickup are soldered together. The green and the bare wire are to the pot. Both black wires are to the body of the pot. This is a jumper wire from this far lug all the way to the pot. Pretty much it. Like I said, I'll throw the schematic up on screen because it's a lot easier to look at. So I'll throw the schematic up on screen because it's a lot easier to look at rather than me trying to explain this on a shaky camera. But hopefully you get the gist of that. So you'll get which this is some of the wire that it cut off, a green, a black, a white, a red, and a bare wire. The red and the white get soldered together. The black gets soldered to one of the lugs. The green and the bare wire gets soldered to the back of the volume pot. A white wire comes off of the inner circle from the input jack. The other black wire comes off of the outer lug on the input jack. The white wire gets soldered into the middle stud. The black wire from the input jack gets soldered onto the back of the volume pot. So pretty much everything gets soldered onto the back of the volume pot. The black ground wire from the pickup gets soldered onto, which what I'm looking at is the lug on the volume pot all the way to the right. There's a white jumper all the way to the left that gets soldered from the volume lug all the way to the back of the volume pot. Hopefully that helps. So I'll throw that picture up on there too. Hopefully you guys have followed along through this 90-minute journey. I really didn't expect it to be this long, but here we are. So I'm going to go ahead, slap all this together, and we'll see you inside when this is done. All right, and it works. Now we just got to throw some strings on it, clean it up a little bit, and we're golden. If you guys like this video, go ahead, give it a thumbs up, give it a like. If you didn't like it, also give it a thumbs up. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, hit all the buttons. I'm Jordan, and I'll catch you guys next time.